All right, you got it.
The divine warning by the prophet for the nations. The citizens of all free national governments, according to the national constitution, are of one family bearing one free national name. Those who fail to recognize the free national name of their constitutional government are classed as undesirables and are subject to all inferior names and abuses and mistreatments that the citizens care to bestow upon them. And it is a great sin for any group of people to violate the national constitutional laws of a free national government and cling to the names and principles that allude to slavery. I, the prophet, was prepared by the great God Allah to warn my people to repent from the simple ways and go back to that state of mind of their forefathers, divine and national principles, that they will be law abiders and receive their divine rights as citizens, according to the free national constitution that was prepared for all free national beings. They are to claim their own free national name and religion. There is but one issue for them to be recognized by this government and of the earth, and it comes only through the connection of the Moorish Divine National Movement, which is incorporated in this government and recognized by all other nations of the world. And through it, they and their children can receive their divine rights unmolested by other citizens, that they can cast a free national ballot at the polls under the free national constitution of the state's government, and not under a granted privilege has been the existing condition for many generations. You who doubt whether I, the prophet, and my principles are right for the redemption of my people, go to those who know law in the city hall and amongst the officials in the government, and ask them under an intelligent tone, and they will glad to render you a favorable reply. For they glad to see me bring you out of darkness into light. Money doesn't make the man. It is free national principles, it's free national standards and power that makes a man in a nation. The wealth of all national governments, gold and silver and commerce belong to the citizens alone. And without your national citizenship by name and principles, you have no true wealth. And I am hereby calling on all true citizens that stand for a free national government and the enforcement of the Constitution to help me in my great missionary work, because I need all support from all true American citizens of the United States of America. Help me to save my people who have fallen from the constitutional laws of government. I am depending on your support to get them back to the constitutional fold again, that they will learn to love instead of hate and will live according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, supporting our free national constitution of the United States of America. I love my people and I desire their unity and mind back to their own national and divine standards, because day by day they have been violating the national and the constitutional laws of the government by claiming names and principles that are unconstitutional. If Italians, Greeks, English, Chinese, Japanese, Turks, and Arabians are forced to proclaim their free national name and religion before the constitutional government of the United States of America, it is more than right, then the law should be enforced upon all American citizens alike. In other governments, when a man is born and raised there and asks for his national descent name, and if he fails to give it, he is misused, imprisoned, or exiled. Any group of people that fail to answer up to the constitutional standards of law by name and principle, because to be a citizen of any government, you must claim your national descent name, because they place their trust upon issues and names formed by their forefathers. There we go. By their forefathers. The word Negro alludes in Latin language to the word nigger, the same as the word color alludes to anything that is painted, varnished, or dyed. And every nation must bear a national descent name of their forefathers, because honoring thy fathers and they mothers, your days will be lengthened upon this earth. These names have been recognized by any true American citizen of this day. Through your free national name, you are known and recognized by all nations of the earth, and that are recognized by said government, by said national government in which they live. The 14th and 15th Amendment brought the North and South in unit, placing the Southerners who were at the time without power with the constitutional body of power. And at that time, 1865, the free national constitutional law that was enforced since 1774 declared all men equal and free. And if all men are declared by the free national constitution to be equal, and since that constitution has never been changed, there is no need for the application of the 14th and 15th Amendments for the salvation of my people. So there is but one supreme issue for my people to use to redeem that which was lost, and that is through the above statements. Then the lion and the lamb can lie down together in yonder hills, and neither will be harmed, because love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice will be reigning in this land. In those days, the United States will be one of the greatest civilized and prosperous governments of this world. But if the above statements are not carried out by the citizens and my people in this government, the worst is yet to come, because the great God of the universe is not pleased with the works that are being performed in North America by my people, and this great sin must be removed from the land to save it from enormous earthquakes, diseases, etc. And I, the prophet, do hereby believe that this administration of government, by being more wisely prepared by more ingenious citizens that believe in their free national constitution and laws, and through the help of such classes of citizens, I, the prophet, truly believe that my people will find the true and divine way of their forefathers, and learn to stop serving carnal customs and merely ideas of man that have never done them any good, but have always harmed them. So I, the prophet, and hereby calling aloud with a divine plea to all true American citizens to help me to remove this great sin which has been committed and it is practiced by my people in the United States of America, because they know it is not the true and divine way, and without understanding, they have fallen from the true light into utter darkness of sin. And there is not a nation on earth today that will recognize them socially, religiously, politically, economically, etc., in their present condition of their endeavorment, in which they themselves try to force upon a civilized world. They will not refrain from their simple ways of action, and their deeds have brought Jim Crowism, segregation, and everything that brings harm to human beings on earth. And they fault the Southerner for all these great misuses. But I have traveled in the South and have examined conditions there, and it is the works of my people continuously practicing the things which bring dishonor, disgrace, and disrespect to any nation that lives the life. And I am hereby calling on all true American citizens for more support and finance to help me in my great missionary work to bring my people out of darkness into marvelous light. From the prophet.
Islam. Islam, Islam. Okay, so I have some stuff queued up in regards to, and keep in mind, this is the ambassador hat. You know, dealing with the public once again, and you get hit with the question, what's the Moors religion? And we've covered this, but we're going to cover it from a different lens of how you would respond to something like that. You know, you out in the public, you're doing your missionary work. And like I say, missionary work, you could be walking in the grocery store. You don't have to like be set up, you know, or nothing like that. You just have a fed turban and walking down the street, going to the store, somebody come up to you, you're answering the questions, you're doing public relations, you're doing outreach, real time. It's right there, right? So when I say ambassador hat, that's what I mean. So, I heard about the Moors, you know, what is this about? Is it a religion? What is this? What is the Moors religion? Maybe they might hit you with that. You know, I'm thinking about getting active and, you know, being part of the movement, but I just don't know what the religion, like, you know, I grew up Catholic. You know, Christian. How you gonna answer these questions? You got somebody on the fence that want to join forces with the movement. They got questions. How are we going to deal with the public to embrace them, help them feel embraced? All right. So I just wanted to set the tone before I go into this chapter in the Circle 7 Holy Quran dealing with religion. I'm gonna read a portion of this and then summarize holy instructions from the Prophet dealing with chapter 35. There is but one Allah, the author, the creator, the governor of the world, the Almighty, eternal, incomprehensible. The Son is not Allah, though his noblest image. He enlightened the world with his brightness, his warmth giveth thee the products of the earth. Admire him as the creature, the instrument of Allah, but worship him not. To the one who is supreme, most wise, and magnificent, and to him alone belong worship, adoration, thanksgiving, and praise, who hath stretched forth the heavens with his hands, who hath described with his finger the courses of stars, who setteth the bounds of the ocean, that it cannot pass, and saith unto the stormy winds, be still. He tells the winds to be still. Who shake up the earth, and the nations tremble? Who dareth his lightnings, and the wicked are dismayed? Who calleth forth the world by the words of his mouth? Who smitteth with his arm, and they sink into nothing? O reverence the majesty of omnipotence, and tempt not his anger, lest thou be destroyed. The providence of Allah is ever all his works. His ruleth and directeth with infinite wisdom. Line 10, to culminate this, he hath instituted laws for the government of the world. He hath wonderfully varied them in all beings, and each by his nature. So let's marinate on this for a minute. So you get asked, what is religion? Comprehending the laws of the government of the world. What are the laws of the government of the world? Why am I answering that way? What's religion? Understanding the laws, being in harmony with the laws of the government of the world. What are some of those laws? You got Hermetic principles. And I don't need to go, I mean, whoever doesn't know what Hermetic principles are, we can go into it, but I'm pretty sure everybody in this particular group right here is familiar with that. So when you go and just go into the Hermetic principles, that's an example. An example is water is H2O. That's an example. That's an exact. That's the law. Another example would be when you sleep, you're breathing, you're inhaling, you're exhaling. These are involuntary body systems. You're not pushing the button saying inhale, exhale. That's a law. You're breathing in oxygen, you're exhaling carbon dioxide. The trees are giving you oxygen. These are laws to stay alive. You stop breathing, you're gonna die. It's not a belief. These are laws. When you don't stretch, you just sit on the couch all day, don't do nothing, cardiovascular wise, you're gonna be stiff and die faster than if you were, being limber and at peace, deep breathing, right? So the reason I'm going through it from this lens is, once again, we want to let the people know what was religion anciently, before Nicene Council, before it got reduced down to Prophet Muhammad, Jesus, before it got reduced down to, what it is today in most commonly Christian circles, most common Muslim circles. Um, you know, so public relations, community outreach, The public are talking to the noble. The public is talking to the Moor. The public is talking to the ambassador. Talking about ultimately trying to do nationhood, nation building. What are we in the, back to the, blanket statements that are talking about active, not passive. Activity comes in a lot of different forms. Like I say, you could just be casually walking to the grocery store, feds and turbaned up. Somebody's going, percentages, if you leave the house and have a fez on, by the time you come back to the house later on that night or that day, best believe somebody would have came up to you asking something about that on some capacity. So it's not like you really got to just go out and, I'm too busy to do outreach and, if you're in habit, people are gonna come to you. Just be competent when you're talking with the people, enlighten them, and give a certain magnetism as the Muslim. The Muslim. That's what we are, right? Muscles, oxygen, skeletal system, ligaments, electrical, magnetism. What type of magnetism? You're a magnet. So everybody has magnetism, but what's the polarity? We want to adjust the polarity. So what we're magnetizing to us, back to the Hermetic principles, right? All correspondence. We want to correspond. And that's why it's a divine and national movement, because once you know these divine laws, how it's connected to, earth law, dealing with, political status and things like that, unity with the people, political science to create wealth, community trust, right? On an earth experience, we'll take the divine laws and form physical, form a temple, form a community based on ancient principles, right? That's how you reflect. So that's why everybody that has culture pretty much wealthy. They work together because that's divine to do that. Just simply have a unity and on the same page, working together, building stuff as the years go on, staying consistent with each other, not getting fickle. Have pride with the bloodline. Let's build. That's divine. So I like to use that chapter for that. There was a couple El Salvadorian brothers I was supposed to be on, but they got a last minute something that happened in their family and whatnot. But it's still good that I'm queuing it up for this purpose for everybody else. This chapter, any nationality of people that you on this planet, this chapter is going to tie them in where they could join forces with us with the Moorish paradigm. Once again, I was going to highlight this section dealing with, our El Salvadorian brother. I was going to appeal. I was going to use this chapter to appeal. But you could use this chapter, any true American, Muslim. I just talked about the Muslim, right? The ancient ones. It was all one people at one time. We still are one people today, just not in the mind. We want to unify our people's minds so it will reflect physically. We will physically be united. Right.
Right.
So that's why I like to use this chapter. And this is all talking about religion. Remember, somebody coming to you, we're just going over just from different lenses on how we can articulate, how we can unify as well. Let me get the brother DL in there. Any thoughts on that, on the space as far as, what's the Moorish religion? Talking to the public, community outreach. Any thoughts on that space?
I tell them that we're tying them back to the stars. That's what it is. You're realigning yourself with the stars.
Yeah, that's how I talk about it. I talk about it like going back to like being like studying nature pretty much, right? Is how I see it. And when you like Muslim, you says muscle. Okay,
Organs.
organs. Go ahead. You got it, Eliander.
It's Moslem, Moslem, which is muscles, organs, skeletons, ligaments, electrical system, and magnesium. That's the workings of a body. It's a fetus. That's the science of it. That's why it says the religion's the science. We're bringing you back to the science. And the Muslim thing is how we start telling each other what we are, and because it's truth. Whereas to the Europeans, they were calling themselves white. That's what unified them as well. Does that make sense? At that point, they weren't called white. So, but when they started calling themselves white, that's what also unified them. So our unification is we're Muslim, and the science is that we're fetuses. We're not religion. It's actually what your mother brought you into this world by. You're a fetus, plain and simple. There's no mystery behind it. It's just pure science.
So now let me put a question out there since you went that direction. So now when we go back to the section on religion,
Mhm.
which you just said, and we go back to what I just highlighted, when you come into the world as a fetus,
Mhm.
you can't get around being governed by the Institute of Laws for the Government of the World, right? You can't shake that
Right.
because you have to breathe, right? Or you die.
Right. Yes.
So it's in our best interest to know the rules of the law, the rules of nature's law, and be in harmony with it, right?
Okay. May I continue on that one? Fair enough.
Y'all can
Okay,
hear me.
because I tell them law. What is law? I ask people, what is law, right? Law is land, air, and water. So therefore, you're made of land, you're air because you breathe it, and we're made of water. So you can't stop breathing, you can't stop drinking water, and you cannot not be land because your feet are the soul to the land, and you're tied to it. You always have to stand on something, which is land, and everything that we make is land. You're always standing on land. You are one. You're part and parcel of the government because you're land. He who controls the law controls, you. I guess.
Okay. Islam to that. Okay. Anybody else had any thoughts on this type of space?
So when it's saying basically if I'm correct when it's saying for the government of the world, that means basically the natural way that the world and within the world, beings and plants and everything, how it functions and flows. Is that
Yes.
the correct way? Okay.
Yes. How the world functions.
Right.
It's everything it has an exactness to it. It's a science. It's measurable. Like that's why I gave the example. It's not just water. It's H2O, hydrogen oxygen squared. That's more specific. If you separate the hydrogen from it or separate the oxygen from it, it's no longer water. Right.
Right.
So that's an example. So we need to understand the formulas of how the world works. Chart, like you say, charting the stars. What did the planets do for us? What does the moon do for the water on the planet? What does Venus do and the moon do conjunctively for the earth, the growth of plants and the agriculture and things of that nature, right? So two colors make another color, right? You can take two colors, blend them, and make another color. That's a science, right? You need to know how to do that, right? So yoga, breathing exercises, stretching, being social. Because if you just not, a lot of people don't know that just being social, interacting with people, bouncing thoughts, of course, with people that are like-minded, of course, it's healthy, that's religion. Building communities, that's religion. And political science is the science to do that, to build community. It's a science to it. Everybody's got to buy in. Right? So so that's hopefully I answered that pretty good. Any other thoughts on religion, community outreach, talking to the public?
Declaration of Independence will tell you that. Declaration of Independence will tell you that nature's law, nature's God. And if you study it, it has the 5 principles on it. I believe you also said that as well.
Oh, Brother DL, peace and love, man. I meant to greet you like 5 minutes ago, man. I just got carried away with talking, running my mouth, man.
Peace and
Sorry.
love. Peace and
Peace and
love,
love,
man.
man.
Peace and love.
Peace and love, more.
Peace and love, peace and love.
How you feeling, DL, about religion? Somebody come to you, you got your fez turban on. They're like, man, I want to get involved with this space, man. I just wish your views on religion, though. You know, how you gonna hit the public, man? How you gonna talk to the people as an ambassador, man?
Mm. You know what? I do want to mention, I was talking to well, call it like my sister, but yeah, my best friend, and she pretty much had the same question. She's like interested. She's like, oh, like what do you guys do? What's your guys' religion? That's like the question, right? What's the religion? And the only way I was able to answer that was through like talking about nature, but the way that we've kind of broken it down too, right? Now I feel like, I feel a little bit more confident about talking to people about that space of religion.
It's about- that's what these meetings are for. That's what the temple is for, to get that clarity, You're trying to sharpen their skills, deal with the public
So,
to grow the organization, right? Somebody finna say something, that Trey?
yeah, I had a question. So it's like, so like if someone like asked a question like she was asked, like what is you guys' religion? Would the answer, because I would like to be able to answer that correctly as best as possible too. Would it basically like we're just trying to basically vibe with people that good energy, unity, building for the people, healthy for the body, healthy for the mind, healthy for the water. Uh, is it kind of more aimed basically like kind of like how we've been answering just like that? Because I know that, there's some people that I know I'm still learning myself, but pretty sure it's like some more people that they lean more on this text for a certain way of life and they lean on that text for a certain way of life, but we still find like a common ground to basically reason and build and be at peace with each other, right? Is that
Right.
is that like the aim
Yeah.
of the organization, right?
That's I like that. I like that. Um, I like that as just a mission, but I wouldn't answer the question as far as if somebody asked me what is the Moorish religion, I wouldn't ask it like that. But I do like the way you worded it in the sense of we were trying to do overall as Khalifa society. So yes, but
Okay, okay.
as
I would,
far as go ahead.
now I would answer. I would say we're all Muslims, and it's a science.
Yeah,
Mm,
I like to add. I go to be in the gym a good bit, and a lot of people started walking up and ask me, "I was saying hey, woo, woo," and I get the what is your religion a lot, and I tell them our religion is Islamism, and Islamism is peace, and I use the metaphor in the gym. I was like, not the dogmatic Islam like Asaf law master. Like right now, we have the Asaf law master these ways. If you don't really know how to self law master these ways, you can't really build the proper body. And that goes back to what Bro was saying with the science. This is basically physical masonry we're doing here in the gym as Muslims. You know what I mean? Muscle tissues and limbs. So that's what I always say. I'm like, so what are you? Mason? I'm a Muslim. Muscle. I'm a Muslim. Muscle tissues and limbs. Oh, is that your what religion is that? Oh, it's peace. Because Islam is like a suffix, which is like the end. So Islamism. So Islam was Islam meaning peace. So overall, our religion is peace, and how do we be peaceful? By self-law and mastery. You know, taking the principles into the gym. You know, you have to self-law and mastery. You got to know the laws of the weights to master it. You know what I'm saying? To, you know, build the proper body, and you take those applications and put them towards the mind. You know what I mean? So you got to not mentally do something to physically do it. You know, so that's what I always say, just to crumble that up, peace. Whenever somebody says, like, what's your religion? Our religion is peace, or Islamism, because that's in the literature I want to say, like, but when you hear like the ism part, just think of suffix, you know, to keep it, you know, simple and things of that nature. But there's no like right answer, but that's what I always say, yo, my religion is peace. And that's how do we realign ourselves, you know, with the zodiac, to realign ourselves to become peaceful, you know, in a situation. Like every single day we're gonna walk into the world and some kind of like knock your peace, but you have something to realign yourself, whether it's profit or, you know, whatever it may be, you know, whatever walk of life. But, you know, I would say the religion, peace, you know, at the end of the day.
Right, and that's fire that you said, because it's like we saying the same, a lot of the similar things, but like almost just in like different words, different terminologies. Because like I always tell people, like recently through the years, I've told people, like when they ask me if I'm religious, I tell them that I'm not religious, because I believe religions is like, far as I've seen, religions is like has man's input. You know what I mean? I tell them like I go about the way of life that I understand is pleasing to the Most High, because we can all agree that there's good and there's evil in the world. You know what I mean? So with that being said, there's things that are like pleasing and there's things that are not pleasing. So I tell people I just try to go with pleasing, kind of like what we said, nature, because that's, you know, when you do things the natural way of life, like you're aligning yourself basically with the creator, how I see it. So
Which not to cut you off, would go back to like the higher self and nature was the, you know, the mother, which doesn't really harm. You know, higher self doesn't harm. You know what I mean? It's your feminine side, as they would say, you know, to honoring that. You know, the unconditional love, like changing a diaper. No one's happy to change a diaper, but it's unconditional. You do it because you love it. You it as a child, you know what I mean? So get back to that. You know, you in the world like that, you know, unconditional love. You know, ain't the easiest thing, but you know, bird's eye view. You know, I know you can't defend for yourself, but here I'm gonna clean you up until you know how to clean yourself. It's kind of just like with the Moorish thing, you know, we're gonna keep teaching until like probably keep studying until you get it. You know, keep wiping the BS out of our minds that we've been taught for years. You know what I mean? Just like a child, you're gonna have to change that diaper for years until they like, hey, when I get that toilet situation, you know, you're of age now. You know, the same thing in this. You're of age in the thinking now. You know, you can put down certain teachings. You know, and pick up some metaphysical teachings for self and keep pushing on. You know, but like yeah.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And to add on to that, you know, more science, you know, because we just covered that nature's law would be religion, to comprehend it, become one with it, how to maintain peace with it. And that's a science to doing that. Even mastering yourself, mastering your impulses is a science. You have to, your discipline level, right? You have to be inspired. Brother Salim, you got something?
Islam, absolute,
Islam.
absolute. So, when I talk to people about what I'm involved in, you know, I'm in Houston, Texas. So, I know it has to be based on relativity and simplicity. I have to break it down so they can really understand, you know. So I come with them simply with, okay, our religion is more science. It's Islamism. Islamism is more science. It's our version of Islam, which is basically what I relate to is like self-mastery. I self-law master. So I tell them our science is mastering yourself and getting like the noble said, being aligned with Allah, being aligned with God. So like I always use the example, arm, leg, leg, arm, head. Like Wayne said, I shoot your arm, leg, arm, head, like Allah. Like, so it's like being, it's the best way to get in tune with God, which is Allah Himself, which is God Himself. So it's like I tell them more science. We're more we're like scientists, and so life is like experimentations. Like we add in certain elements throughout life, and some things go good, some things go bad. It's like adding chemicals in the experiment. So we like scientists, and we use history, etymology. We use astronomy. We use the zodiacs, astrology, astronomy. So as above, so below. We take it like to a deeper understanding, overstanding of how we relate to the cosmos, how we relate to God. So I tell them it's really just a mastering of self and a mastering of the understanding of how the self relates to the universe and the Most High. The most low, the Most High, whatever. In that sense.
Wow. Yeah, that's well said. That's well said. Islam. Yeah, that's the space. That's the space right there. Because discipline. You want the people to get more discipline, emphasize, it's discipline. It's a disciplined way. Being disciplined is religion. To be disciplined, just that. And you trending towards what religion is about.
Islam, like culture. Religion is culture. So a lot of people like I'm an Aquarius, and I see the word scientist equated to the word Aquarius a lot. Like Pisces, I seen like religious. Pisces are religious, so that means that even if whether you gang banging or you working a job, like this energy is gonna be more attached to like a religio, it's attached to buying. Like they say, I bind you in the name of Jesus. Like I like you've conformed. You conform to this way of life. If you're on the streets, you conform to that. You know what I'm saying? If you're a business person, you conform to the business lifestyle. So it's like a way, like cult. So it's also like a cult in a certain type of way, because our culture is a cult. If our culture, I'm in the South, we in Houston, our culture is what sip and drink, swangers and stuff like that. You go to Cali, the culture, you got the khakis, and different places got different cultures. So it's like we religious to this. This is our culture, it's our religion. So religion is culture.
Yeah. And then after we see the definition, we got more science. We separate the two. Got Moorish of the Moors, their culture, and the style of the Moors, and the science, the systematized knowledge derived from observation, study, experimentation, right? So that's observing, right? Observe yourself. Not only observe what you see out your eyes, but you got to back to studying yourself. Observation, coming up with a hypothesis, right? Remember in school, we did the experiments with the hypothesis and coming with the conclusion. And how was your hypothesis? Did you come up with the correct theory of what was going to take place based on the data? Right? Observation. That's a science, more science. Somebody said something.
Yes, it's Leon. I got one for you. For the easy way, kind of like to see this, and nowadays, like I talked about this before. It's the moccasins. Ours is Morris's, right? Their culture is the moccasins, right? In the science that we keep them up. But today, they observed it and they made their Uggs kind of like resembling it, and they put their own brand name and so forth. Does that make sense for their culture?
Yeah. And then
I see the connection to it.
Yeah, no, you're on point with that. And then Brother Salim has said something about elements, and it took me to this, right? We dealing with the elements. That's the ancient culture. That's the culture, knowing the elements: earth, air, water, and fire. I'm a Virgo. What's that? That's an element, right? That's earth, right? Pisces. That's an element, right? So that's how to deal with humanity. How do you maintain peace and build community in a peaceful way, which is Islam, right? You gotta know the elements.
Right.
Know why people do what they do. You're gonna probably be less offended. Oh, why'd he say that like that? Oh, he just on his tourist tip, or he was on you know what I mean? Like for a lot of different reasons. And like I said, you want to always bring the best version of yourself out. You can Sometimes you need other people to do that, just to be around that energy, just to motivate you or be a catalyst to inspire a great idea. It's so many different, reasons. But having your mind in this space is religion, being conscious of that. So while we're talking about that, Nanel, did you want to start it off with this? More science is based on 4 broad areas.
Okay. More science is based on 4 broad areas, which can be symbolized by the 4 elements of man nature. These 4 elements are earth, air, water, and fire. Fire, spiritual science. The spirit that which motivates man and nature to do all that which they do. The spirit exists and motivates man and nature to action from an incorporeal realm beyond the realm of the so-called physical world of space and time. The spirit is the basis of everything in the physical world. It is the cause of causes. It is the hand that fits perfectly into the glove of nature. Thus, the study of the spirit is a study of the basis of man, God, life, and motion. It corresponds to fire because fire can build or destroy life. It is the great catalyst and transformer of creation.
Right. So just raw fire is not good, right? It can just
Right.
and if the mind is not balanced, right? Or you can either create some, you can use fire to create or destroy. So we need to taper the fire. We don't want the fire to be out of control. We want to control the fire. Right. So you got to put other elements around the fire and know how to control the fire. We're talking religion. We're talking more science. We're
Sound
talking
like
about
sound like Avatar. Just sound like the old man in Avatar talking about the elephants. Because he always talking about his nephew, he's a firebender. And his nephew's really off the handle. Just
right. Right.
yeah. So he's like,
Firebender,
hey,
yeah.
you gotta chill. But he's like, you gotta learn how to basically control your anger, your fire, and learn how to be around other kingdoms because all the kingdoms beefing. So it's like, hey man, like you need to be around air so it doesn't blow you up, whatever. But that was what it sounded like. Oh, that sounded like the
Yeah.
Avatar
Yeah, no.
granddad dude.
Yeah.
But I
It's all relative. You got it now. Now, unless somebody else has something they want to add to that, you can continue.
I want to add something to that. When I think of fire, I think of like heat, right? And when you think of energy, when you have like a lot of energy in something, you think of like it gets hot. So I feel like that makes sense when I talk about like fire and like as a spiritual science because we are energetic beings. You know what I mean? So I feel like that's kind of what I started to think about energy and fire and like being spiritual, right? Having energy within ourselves. And that's why it says to be able to handle that energy, right?
Yeah.
So just wanted to add that in. I just thought that was interesting.
to her.
Fire could be really what's the word, kind of catchy too. You know what I mean? It can spread very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Put them other elements around there. And Brother Lamar Harris, peace and love, brother.
Hey, peace and love, y'all.
Peace and love.
You can continue unless somebody else
Okay.
has something they want to add.
Let me scroll down a little bit. Okay. Earth, natural sciences. The systemized study of nature and the physical world. This includes zoology, botany, chemistry, physics, chaos, geology, ecology, etc. Natural science corresponds to the element of earth because this science deals with physical world, its properties and interrelationships.
Right.
I feel like
So
that's pretty straightforward. Like it's talking about like natural as in like everything very physical.
so typically, like, for example, I'm an earth sign. My ruling planet is Mercury. So you're talking about communication. You got to communicate to build relationships. That's a trait of being earthy, right? So that's what stood out to me, when I'm looking at this. But on the flip side, if you're too earthy, you're not the empathy. You might not. You come off as cold. You come off as you're not able to feel like a water sign will feel, because the other side of the spectrum would be water. Intuitive feeling, imagination. So we need each other. Those elements need each other. Earth and water will be an example of how you can create harmony. And of course, we got different degrees like trines and sextiles and, perpendicular angles, 90-degree angles, 20-degree angles, 120-degree angles, which mean things. Things can be in harmony or they can be inharmonious. We're talking about imbalance or not imbalance. We're talking religion. We're still talking religion right now. We're talking more science right now. Etymology, the word religion is a compound word dealing with realignment or to yoke or bind, like the brother said, to bind together. We're talking about aligning. Now, what are we aligning? Our energy wheels, our energy discs in our body, what they call chakras. You want to calibrate them.
Ourselves to nature.
Right? Corresponds to nature, right? Brother Hassan, peace and love, man. See you with the shades on, man. You out there feeling good.
Peace and love, brother. I'm just doing a little traveling with the wife.
Peace and love to the family. Hope all is well out there.
Hello.
Hello.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. Anybody else wanted to chime in on that before we continue with the air, transition to the air element?
Peace. I have a question.
Go ahead, brother Lamar.
What is the most important element right now that we could work with?
Me personally, I wouldn't say one is higher than the other. It's just knowing how to create balance and harmony.
Balance all of them?
Yeah, how do you balance? How do you create? Because there's always a way to create the balance. You got to find that out.
Probably times where certain of them are more necessary than the others.
Yeah, but gotta work. I know how to work with the elements.
It's like this. Just kind of saying, the mightiest tree is easily snapped. So if you study on just one element or just one thing, I mean, you may become, a force to be reckoned with, but you're weak in a lot of other stuff. So it's easy to be pliable, such as like a blade of grass in a wind or in a hurricane. It will stay there, but the tree will disappear because they're so strong. Does that make sense? So everything has to be a balance in the world, no matter what it is. You can't be in fear all your life because you got to be brave. You can't be strong because you got to be weak sometimes. You can't live forever because we're going to die. It's why it's night and day. It's a balance. Everything is a balance. And you have to figure that out for yourself. You have to be a corkscrew in the ocean, in a wave. It doesn't jump out of the water, nor does it sink. It just rides it calmly. Does that make sense for you guys? Because you're just there.
Yeah.
Everything's just there. Nature.
It's tools for your disposal,
Right.
We have dominion of the earth. Remember, we have dominion of the earth, right? Over the earth.
Right.
So we just have to learn it. Back to this scientific, more science. Observe the earth. Observe the heavens. For a reason. Become one with them. So in order to have peace in your individual life, internally, and in community, with our people in general, on a political level, right? And like, once again, when you observe, like a scientist would, the earth right now, when you walk down the street, people that are in tune with their culture and have respect for their culture and have customs, traditions, work together, set up businesses together, they have more of a heaven on earth compared to people that are not doing that, are not working together. So these are the examples in real time, right? All you gotta do is observe like a scientist and observe the conditions of humanity, right? Um, if nobody's got any other thoughts, we can go on to air.
I want to add something.
Oh, go ahead.
So the way I think of it is like, because more science, right? Studying nature, but also we're part of nature. So we study ourselves, right? So based on ourselves, we have like a certain makeup, right? A cosmic makeup. So to know where your weaknesses and your strengths are, right? That's why it's good to study like all the elements, like everyone was saying, like the balance, right? So you know where maybe you might need a little bit of help, right? Because these elements aren't just the elements right here. It goes deeper than that, also into astrology too, with our cosmic beings. So that's why I think it's good to, like everyone was saying, to study all of them to learn to balance that because of what we're made of, all this energy and things like that. And it helps with the alignment because when you think of alignment and chakras, when we say peace, peace is at the love vibration, right? When we ascend up, right, through our chakras, we're vertical beings, right? That's why we say like Muslim, because that's physical, our physical selves. So I think of it's like when you're able to balance in your alignment, now you can get to a higher vibration. Now we can be in harmony and peace. Now we're connecting the physical, the Muslim, with the spiritual, right? And then we create that peace, that heaven on earth. Is kind of how like I see it when we're studying elements and piecing the physical and the non-physical together.
Beautiful, beautiful. That's music to my ears the way you package that together. Um, any other thoughts before we continue with air, the element of air?
Yeah, Peace, I got one more question. When you mentioned the tree of life, which element is that?
The tree of life. Is that what you said? The tree of life.
Yeah.
What element is the tree of life?
Right.
I'm not sure if that's proper context.
That'd be Earth.
It would be Earth.
Well, a tree would need.
Yeah, if you're talking about grounding and being rooted, and I guess if you're looking at it like that, yeah, you know, a tree needs to be grounded to the earth. But
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Ground.
Read natural science.
Well, the way I think of it, the tree of life is that like when you think of a tree, you would need all these different, like most of the different elements, right, to balance it out to get
All of
growth,
them,
right, for life and tree and evolution.
right,
that's what I was thinking. All of them put together, you know.
yeah, because all life having a physical experience is subjected to the law of nature. You can't shake it, you know.
It's
You know,
good
the
to
plant.
tree of life, it's all the elements combined, you know what I'm saying? Air, wind, water, earth, you know what I'm saying? Because it uses all the elements. Like the trees clean the air. The trees
Yeah.
live on the carbon monoxide that's in the air, correct? So,
Yeah.
you know, the trees need water to live and grow. So I think all the elements got something to do with the tree of life.
Yeah,
I like that.
yeah,
I
right.
like that too.
That's
I like that.
Yeah, and that's kind of like balance, like what we just do in life here. Because like I was thinking like fire when we was reading fire. I'm like, okay, like if I'm out playing sports, you know what I mean? I'm more in a fire mode, but I still have a little bit of like that earth and that peace because I'm not trying to hurt people or something like that. You know what I mean? So like I wanted to hear the rest of them, but that's what it was kind of making me think when I was like, when we were talking about balancing them all together, you know. But, you know, if I'm dealing with a kid, I'm probably going to be a lot more like the earthy vibes, you know what I mean? Less fire, and less fire unless they do something where they need to be taught a lesson, you know what I mean? But yeah,
Right. And then the water when you want to be compassionate and show love, right?
right.
To watch when the water kick in, right? Yeah.
Yeah, yes, yeah, yeah.
All right. You want to continue? None L.
Got it. All right, so air, mathematics, the group of sciences including arithmetic, algebra, geometry, calculus, etc., deals with quantities, magnitudes, forms, and their interrelationships, attributes, etc., through the use of Arabic numerals and symbols. The science of mathematics corresponds to the element of air because it deals with the mind, intellect, and abstract thoughts of highly refined and rarefied quality.
So we're dealing with how things are measurable. You're dealing with mathematics. You're dealing with exactness. You're dealing with equations. You're dealing with variables. You're dealing with solving the variable. Right. So the workings of Earth, the workings of nature. You want to know that. That would signify air quality, right? Artistic, intellect. These are traits of air. That's what I got from it. Any other thoughts on air?
The way I see it is like when you're calculating things, like because you're doing this in your mind, right? So that's why it says dealing with the mind, because like you said, everything's calculated, right? So in order to go through the calculation, you have to go through your critical thinking in the mind and the intellect to problem solve and to figure it out. So I see.
Good one.
Got some Milian?
No, I just said good one.
Okay. All right. Go on to water.
Okay, water. Social sciences, the study of people and how people live together as families, tribes, communities, nations, etc. Wow. Essentially, the science of man in society. This includes the sciences now known as sociology, anthropology, psychology, political science, economics, etc. The social sciences corresponds to the element of water. Man and his interrelationships within society should flow smoothly like water. In the same way, water always seeks its own level and tends to fill every niche. So people seek the social interaction of other people and tends to fill every social economic niche in society.
Okay. So you see water, how cohesive water is, right? Water wants to bring things together, right? You know, water is going to be have empathy, have love, right? Because in order to build a community, people got to feel the love, people got to feel the rapport, the camaraderie, the sincerity, right? These are all as water. These are great ingredients to build communities. You know, the people willing to work together, feeling inspired, right? Water. Any thoughts on water? Anybody else in the
Memory with water.
Memory,
Earlier
right?
today, I saw like you can like cast a shadow or something over some water and then freeze it, and then that image will, hold from the water, like, but the overall thing was water holds memory. You know what I mean? I know, just putting that in there, kind of like when you're speaking to yourself and things that, because they're like 98 or 80 something% water, and blood too, or just liquid in general. You know what I mean? And that goes back to what air or the fire. You get all worked up and pumped up, your blood you come all vascular and all that within your earthly body. But you can't control your waters, because you're holding on to that memory. Yeah, for sure. Like you're holding on to like some memory or some event that happened, an unearthly experience, and next thing you know, off to the races. You know what I mean? But yeah, I would just say memory with water. But I yield.
So, any other thoughts on water?
Yeah, I got a question.
What about like water and erosion? Like, enough rushing water will break down rocks and things of that nature. So how do we implement that into what we're trying to teach each other right now?
Oh yeah. So if you're too watery, like say you got all water signs in your Trinity, it's cancer, Pisces and Scorpio, just that's your whole chart. You're gonna need some earth around you because you're gonna get, you know how the waves is when the water turns into waves and high tide, you got to get up out of there, right? So
Yeah,
you
that's
got to
very true.
you need some earth to
Because
ground,
across from Cancer, which is water, is Capricorn, which is earth. Because I'm like Cancer rising, so it's very true. Like I'll say emotional for sure. Like you're not saying I'm boo-hooing, but I do get triggered off of events fast. So I need a partner that's like solid. You know what I mean? To kind of like, okay, you're tripping out. Clean up the water. You know what I'm saying? Let's control it. If you put dirt down somewhere around water, it'll stop. You know what I mean? Especially if you like garden, you throw some dirt down. It literally the water has to like soak up the dirt. So it's like consoling at a point. So that's really true. And me being like a Cancer rising, that's done true. Like you do need some earth around you, or just you or woe is me without even knowing it. So you need that without you. Yeah, and especially like, bro, how it comes off, he's always just earth grounded, hella earth, hella Virgo. So yeah, for sure, he definitely walks that. Like,
hey, you can't shake it, man. I am that I am.
Yeah. We unconsciously are being the elements. You know what I mean? And people, or we're like being compatible with everybody here that's like fire, some water, some earth. So when somebody gets too earthy, you know what I mean, they can, get some water to kind of loosen them up a little bit. You know what I mean? The same with the fire and the air. You know what I mean? So yeah,
Yep. And they keep in mind that all our signs, right, have ruling planets. So as we build communities, we build in a galaxy, we build in an orbit. Because everybody in the community has a ruling planet, right? And
that's hoverboard rap right there.
Yeah, we gonna bounce off each other, enhance each other, be an octave for each other, right? Take each other to a higher level.
Mm.
All right. So what you just read? Just read. Okay. So let's go to. Yeah, you just gonna continue.
Okay. Thus, by study of these 4 areas of Moorish science and the integration of this ongoing study in one's life, one will address the 4 elemental needs of man symbolized by the 4 essential elements of earth, air, water, and fire.
Keep in mind, the theme is religion. We've been talking religion the whole time, right? We're explaining. Oh, I see you a Moor, but what's the religion? We're talking about it. That's what we're going over. We're talking religion right now. Like, oh, my bad. I didn't mean to cut you off.
Okay. Many disciplines and ways of life today only address one or other of the 4 elements, but very few, if any, address all 4 and of it themselves. Can you spread on a little bit more, please? Okay. And must be combined with other disciplines in order to be complete. Oh, that's funny. We were just talking about that. Moorish science seeks to be a complete way of life, addressing all 4 elements of man and life in this universe. As mentioned in the previous issue, our Moorish ancestors considered man to be an exact replica of model of God and the universe, only on a smaller scale.
Wait. Let's address this image before we continue.
Thank you.
Sorry, I just want to finish that last sentence. There's no period there.
No, it's all good. I just wanted to see that more.
Yeah. So we're talking about elements, right? What are we looking at? Back to what I think Brother Salim was talking about. Arm, leg, arm, head. We're looking at it right now. Right?
Okay.
This is what we're looking at. We're looking at as above, so below. Of course, nobody in this meeting right now is the creator of the heavens and the earth. Nobody is that. But we're a reflection of that. Right? We can have expressions of that. We can be in harmony with the laws that are left behind by the creator of the heavens and earth to have a peaceful experience while we're having this temporary physical experience. So this is the zodiac wheel. And we're seeing every sign is corresponding to a part of the body. So Aries corresponds with the head, for example, right? So every cosmological sign corresponds to a part of the body. Like, for example, Virgo dealing with intestines. You know, most Virgos have intestines issues unless they have a strict diet. They're going, you know, for example, you
You
know,
said your
Pisces.
intestinal, you said intestinal issues with Virgos.
Yeah, unless you have a strict diet, yeah. Yeah, you're gonna have some uncomfortability. Anybody else? Did you want to highlight something, Ilion, with this visual? Something that stood
You
out
know,
for you?
I've never seen this before, but I'm looking at it. That's all I was like asking. I see the months and how it corresponds, like you were saying and everything.
Mhm.
Just reminds me of the Dravidian man. Reminds me of, which that's a representation of the heavens as well. The guy in the box in the square. If you look at it carefully, I like this too here.
So
Which
is
just
it,
represents the heavens and the 12 stations, 12 systems on our bodies.
Mhm.
Yeah. So 12 systems on our bodies, the zodiac constitution, that's what it is. Like I'll say it for more further, but that's what it reminds me of. That's what it is actually. So anyway, go ahead.
Yeah, yeah, it's definitely parallel. And you know, one of those 12 systems, or you know, for example, would be like the respiratory system. Right, that would be one of the systems. You know, the respiratory system. Right, we have 12 systems. So just to elaborate on what the brother was talking about. Um, any other thoughts on this visual before we continue?
So, hey, so Mark, let me ask you something, right? Something just came to me. So when a person say, yo, you got this and that in your genes, that's really false. What they really going by is this right here, what you're showing me, correct? Because every sign has certain things that they have to deal with in this plane internally. You know what I'm saying? That's basically what I'm getting from what you're saying. So
Yeah,
basically that gene stuff probably is untrue.
yes, you're absolutely right. It's untrue. It's untrue. They try to make it seem like, oh, it's a cancer is hereditary in the African American community. You know, high blood pressure. African Americans have high blood pressure. That's just part of their genes, and you know, it's cancer runs in the family. And nah, that's not the case. That's not the
Word.
case.
Can I mention something on that?
Yeah, yeah.
So when it comes to like gene expression, what happens is that our genes are fixed, right? We have them, but the way that they're expressed is what's revealed, right? So let's say if I had a sleeve and there was like a little cut open, right? Depending on how the sleeve moves, that's what is going to be expressed, right? So like when you study like epigenetics and how the environment, right? You take things in, it can shift the way your genes are expressed, right? So what's going on in the environment that's causing these genes to shift over and to express in this way, but it doesn't have to express in that way. It can express in a different way. You know what I mean?
When you say express, Empress, what that break that like? What you mean like express? Like genes doing this thing, like building itself up to be whatever it's going to be, or whatever? What you saying?
The way when I say expression, what I mean is like a physical manifestation, right? So because we all have like a set like codes of genes, right? We all have that. It's just the way that it's manifested or expressed outwardly, right? So if I were like if I had a sleeve on and there was like a little cut, right? I have all my genes right here. If I were to move it this way, these genes are being expressed this way. If I move it this way, now these genes are being expressed. You see what I mean? Like
I
it's just
got you.
yeah, it's just the way that it's expressed, but it's based on the environment too. The environment can affect your gene expression, which is they call it epigenetics. So it's not oh you're just set with this for life because you have these in your genes. It's the environment too that also messes with how the gene is going to be expressed physically, how it's going to express outside of you, like cancer or whatever, right? That's why
Right.
the balance is important, right? Because when you have that balance, now you're not going to be expressing those genes to manifest that cancer.
Right, and that's why they say some genes are laid dormant. Like some things are dormant until your lifestyle is just terrible. You just eating terrible. You ain't working out. Your mind frame is horrible. You pessimistic. Oh, all of a sudden, cancer. Here come cancer. right? That's an example.
Mhm.
And yeah, you have a choice, lifestyle, basically what I just said. Any other thoughts on this space before we continue?
I got one small one. We're born out of the 9 months, right? So the other 3 months, they have these minerals or elements that your body needs because you didn't get them. That will
Cell
help
salts.
balance you out.
Cell salts.
Right.
Cell
That's
salts.
another thing. If you in the womb 9 months, how you zero when you come out? I don't understand that either. I'm questioning everything nowadays. I'm sorry. If you
Say that
in
again.
the womb 9 months, you breathe and you a living organism. You know what I'm saying? How are you not going on with that same age once you're birthed out?
Well, that's
Like it don't make sense. Like why would you
yeah.
start at zero once you come out the womb?
Yeah, that's a great question. And I guess a way to look at it is in different realms, kind of like how they try to do BC and AD, like the before your physical out being detached from your mother.
Right. They cut the umbilical cord. That's when they started.
Yeah, but I mean, you don't have to do
Okay.
that. But you're owning something. You're owning something great because in actuality, the development, or unless you're premature, would be 10 months, 11 months. You just keep it going. But that's up to the household. I mean, you can keep track like that and still say, man, my son or daughter is 11 months right now. But they can't, they've been out the womb
I mean,
about a month.
Bobby, it's just something it's just something I was thinking about because they lied to us about the seasons. They lied to us about when New Year's is. They lied to us about the calendar, the year, all of that. So I'm just like, maybe that might be some deception in that too. I just was asking.
No, it's not nothing to like they hiding this. What you're saying is true.
Right.
As far as you're developing 9 months, at a certain time, you just came out the womb, out the waters, but you're still developing, and developing don't stop. You still continue to develop. So you're absolutely right. It's just, I guess the context of what Elian Bay was talking about was typically you get 9 moon cycles in the womb because the mother is giving nutrients to the fetus, which is preparing to have that experience outside of the waters. The mother is, so they say Solomon's temple or the workshop, right? So that's all that is, and so you typically get 9 cell salts automatically in the womb from your mom, unless you're premature, of course. But it's 12 cell salts total. So once you come out the womb and not able to get the cell salt naturally from your mom, you have to go get them independently and put them in your body. And those cell salts, you just need to know what those cell salts are. And then that's really the true supplement as well, to make yourself whole. That's how you would do it. And you'd be in pretty good shape too. Like, for example, matter of fact, you're a Virgo too. So you need silica, sodium phosphate, and I think magnesium.
Do you have a list of those things there, Monty? Because I've seen it once, but at the time that I was studying this, it didn't really ring a bell, but I remember seeing it. And I just never went after it again. But knowing these things after a while, I was like, I should have remembered it, or I wish I could have gotten, but never got it. 12 cell salts. Okay. That's what it's called. See, I was looking at it
I'm gonna write that down right.
I'm trying to find a good one.
I have a question. So what you're asking Hassan was why is it that we start at as a baby at like a developmental age and like kind of grow through life? Like why is that what you're asking?
Like I'm asking, like, like, okay, the baby once it develops, you got a heartbeat inside your womb. You got the baby is living, is breathing, or whatever. Why don't when you birth the child? If you held the child 9 months, why when you birth the child, it don't be 10 months and you just rock on from there instead of saying 0 and start over with the months and everything? That's what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
that's why
I heard you say that.
yeah. Yeah, that's up to you.
Right now-
Like you don't have to go. You don't have to say your child is a month. You can just continue to say, "Oh, my child is 10 months." Well, if that's but I get
Islam,
Yeah, like, yeah.
Islam.
well,
wow.
true, but in what I'm stating is that is when you cut the umbilical cord, that child is independent, and that's when we're saying it's 1 or 0. Does that make sense? That's the start of it.
That's cool. I mean, that gives me a better understanding. You know what I'm
and-
saying? So once you snatch it from the umbilical cord, it's the first day of its being living, breathing on its own or whatever.
yeah, because
Right,
think
it is
about it.
independent. Yeah, yes. Sorry about that. Go ahead.
Independently.
We're
So
a spark. But think about Hassan, the spark. Remember, the sperm and the egg created a spark to even
yes,
create this process, right? Which was
yes,
divine. So that's the
yes,
monad. That's called the monad. Once the monad, in order from the monad to become the nomad, to travel the physical earth plane, it's like the brother says, so not in your mom's womb. You're independent now. You traveling the earth. Now you're the nomad. Like, and that's why I said the more we were nomadic, we were traveling the earth, creating kingdoms and empires. That's the marker. Like you have to chart your development independently on the earth plane now, right? So that's
Right.
kind of the space. If that makes sense. Hopefully that kind of make a little more sense.
yeah, I got y'all. Yeah, I got y'all. Yeah, y'all broke that down. I like that.
Islam more. And I wanted to add too,
Oh,
just the
yeah.
fact that us as Moors wear fezzes, and the fez represents the womb, you know, coming out your mother's womb and the tassels and biblical course. That's like the first day you get crowned. You come out your mom's womb, you get crowned when you come up out her, you know, the corona or whatever, you know. And I want to add, like I was talking about the sea salts, the cell salts. I read that 9 months in your mother's womb, and then it's 12 months in a year. So the other 3 months after you come out, it's like not only you need those cell salts, but it's like those energies from those signs. Like say for instance, I'm an Aquarius, so the 3 signs after me would be like Pisces, Aries, and Taurus. So I read that some people, for the most part, would have like this attraction or some type of energy toward these people because they embody something that we didn't get in the 9 months that we was in the womb. So the other 3 months, people of those signs after our birthday, they got something in them that it's like we ain't got in us. So it's like they say like not like a fatal attraction, but we'll have like a strong energetic attraction to them. You know what I'm saying? Just want to add that you know that fizz you know crowns the corona when you come out the womb. You know, so that's probably that birth.
Islam,
Yeah.
Islam,
Yep.
brother.
And so I have it up right here. Everybody see this basically zodiac wheel, as above, so below in the middle with the fetus right here.
Yeah,
All right, so let's go to like we talked about in the other schematic. Let's go to the head, and the other one was Aries, right? It's still Aries, right? Just the head, right? Dealing with Aries. All right. So what's the cell sort of Aries? Let's see here. Potassium phosphate. All right. Now, so let's break this down so we can show visually what we've been talking about verbally, basically. So you're in the womb. You're in the womb 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, 6 months, 7 months. You come out the womb right here. All right, you come out the room right here. You come out the room. What sign is it? Sagittarius, right? So you're going to need the cell salts for the 3 signs after you. So you're going to need the cell salts that correspond with Capricorn. You're going to need the cell salts that correspond with Aquarius. You're going to need the cell salts that correspond with Pisces. Now let's use Virgo for example. Let's use Virgo since we both Virgos, so you can hit home. So for us, we're going to need the cell salts for Libra. We're going to need the cell salts for Scorpio, the Sagittarius, which is silica, which is sodium phosphate, and lime sulfate. And so magnesium, I just know just other information that magnesium is parallel to for the sodium phosphate. It's it's an active agent that's good for us too. So magnesium as well. So this will be a way of knowing what cell salts you would need. When did I come out the womb? September. Oh, I'm a Virgo. Oh, I need the cell salts of the signs after me. The 3 signs after my sign, I need the cell salts that correspond to that. That's how you look at it. Everybody clear on that now about the cell salts? Right. You can now your job is to look up, where can I get silica? Where can I get sodium phosphate? Where can I get magnesium? Get it and make it a part of your life.
Okay.
Those we at. Okay. All right. No, we're not now. Not still here?
Yes, I'm right here.
Okay. You want to continue?
Yes, let me see. Let's see where we at.
Smaller scale. Man was considered to be the
Can you scroll down a little bit? Yeah, there you go. Man was considered to be the microcosm, small-scale copy of the macrocosm, God, the universe. This is recorded in religion as man being made in the image and likeness of God. Since the greater or macrocosm usually affects the lesser or microcosm to a greater degree, we look to the greater to see what is in the store for the lesser. This is an important part of Moorish cosmology or the Moorish paradigm. Cosmology is a combination of cosmos, meaning world or universe, and logi, meaning logic or science. Webster's unabridged dictionary defines cosmos as, and cosmology as, let's see, cosmos, a combining form, meaning world, universe. Cosmology, theory or philosophy of nature and principles of the universe. Moorish science or Moorish cosmology is based on the zodiac wheel, which is its key. It is the greatest invention and gift given by the Moors to the human family of the planet Earth. The 360-degree circle of the zodiac wheel is the universal stage on which the whole drama of man, God, and the universe is played out. It is ingenious in its simplicity and incredible in the far reach of its applications. I refer to the science as Moorish cosmology, Moorish science, or the science of the zodiac, as opposed to astrology due to the commercialization and negative connotations that become attached to the word astrology. In reality, astrology means astrologic. Did you want to go up to the image first?
yes. All right. So once again, we have that Mother Zodiacus or the zodiac wheel. Back to the elements. We got earthy, we got airy, we got watery. We can't shake it, right? And then we got 12 signs total. We have the 12, we have the wheel split into 2 sides, 2 halves. All right, so we have the yin and the yang as well, incorporated into the wheel. Knowing the elements, knowing thyself. Another example. So we've seen 3 schematics dealing with the zodiac wheel in different contexts. Oh, and since we're talking about that, we're dealing with glyphs. So it's a glyph for the moon, right? It's a glyph for Venus. It's a glyph for Mercury. So it's a sign associated with it, right? Symbols. So what is the glyph for Earth? Everybody see the screen? Is it showing the glyph for Earth, or is it still showing the last sentence?
No, it's showing it.
It shows circling
Right.
like within a cross.
Right.
Plus
So this is the Earth glyph. When we're talking about the zodiac and zodiac signs, the glyph for Earth, this is the Earth glyph. It's the zodiac. That's what it is. So, for example, you might see the Pope, right? What does the Pope do? He does a little kiss and go like this, right? He touches all four corners, right? He knows what it means, but maybe his following doesn't know what it means, right? The positions in the Catholic Church. What are they called? The cardinal, the deacon.
Right.
Let's talk now. Let's go back to the zodiac wheel. We're talking about cardinal signs, deaconets. What's a deaconet? That signify 10 degrees, doesn't it?
Yep.
Or, an amount of degrees. So the positions in the church are named after cosmological references. That's why he's going like this. He's the cardinal. He has cardinals. He knows cardinal points. All right. So we're talking about religion. We're still talking about religion right now. So somebody might come up to you with a cross on their necklace. I'm a devout Christian. What are more? I'm loving what the Moors are doing, but I just grew up Christian. And is this a Muslim thing or what is? Oh no. Yeah, we love the cross. What you got on your neck? What you wearing? We're gonna break it down for him with the origin of it. Ancient, old time mind frame to unite the people. Because we just showed the yin and the yang. Now we're showing the cross. We should be able to unite the Buddhist community and the Christian community, right? Based on more science, right?
Oh.
See what we just did? Religion. What's religion? We're going over religion. We've been going over religion the past hour and a half. Any questions on that? Thoughts? Statements?
Can you go back to the other image?
Last page was on right here. Okay.
Right,
Yeah,
so
I have a question. Please.
Oh, you got it. You got it, brother.
The yin and the yang. I thought that was kind of like a Chinese thing. So that's part of the Moors
This is Moorish philosophy. Yep. Because
philosophy.
the Moors created the yin and the yang as a concept and a tool.
So it wasn't the Japanese, Chinese, none of
Moors
them.
too.
No, those are Moors. Look, so let's go back. So no, I'm glad you asked that. I'm glad you asked that. Because you weren't here when we was in the Quran. You weren't here. So let's go back to chapter 45, the divine origin of the Asiatic nations.
Okay.
The fallen sons and daughters of the Asiatic nations of North America need to learn to love instead of hate and to know of their higher self and lower self. This is the uniting of the Holy Quran of Mecca for teaching instructions to all Moorish Americans. The key of civilization was in the hands of the Asiatics nations, the Moorish. But look, the ancient Moabites, the founders of the holy city of Mecca, the Egyptians who were the Hammatites, and the direct descendants of Mizraim, the Arabians, the seed of Hagar, the Japanese, the Chinese, right? So that answers your question, right?
Yeah, right. Got it. Wow.
Original man, no matter what nationality, is gonna go back to the Moor. Somebody had a fez with turban on, right? So we just as ambassadors need to know how to explain who's in front of us. We got somebody that's prescribing to be Filipino. We need to show them how they morals. We need to break that down to them. We got people thinking they from a pale, blonde hair, blue eyed person from Germany. They like what we're doing. They want to know how they fit. Oh, show them Saint Maurice, which was the patron saint of Germany that was in Germany in 200 AD, 300 AD, 3rd century, 2nd century. He's the patron saint. It's a statue right now of a brother darker than me. He's a deity of Germany. That's how you unite somebody from Germany. Oh, somebody from Pakistan. Oh, I like what y'all doing. But how does it relate to me? Oh, show them about the Mauryan dynasty. How it was feathers and turbans, all of what they call today Pakistan and India, Malaysia, Indonesia. That was all the Mauryan dynasty. Oh, I didn't know that, brother. Yeah. Come unite. Somebody from Vietnam. Oh, I like what y'all doing, but what it got to do with me? Oh, show them how the Olmecs traversed nomadically to Manchuria and set up disciplines. It was known as the Fushang dynasty, will ultimately became, different subgroups, Vietnam, et cetera. So this is how we unite. So the whole key is, as ambassadors of the organization, we're trying to funnel people and build, get the body count up, get the energy up, get the community up, get the minds of the people up. But we can only do it if we know, if we got some sense when we're talking in public with our fez and turban on. And it's realistic, very practical. That's why we go through this stuff every week, because we want to stay sharp. We just want to stay sharp. These are repetitive lessons. These aren't new lessons. We want to stay sharp, right? It's a lot of information, a lot of concepts, a lot of way to look at stuff. But the whole key is you want to be prepared when the common man hits you. Be prepared to have a sound mind, intelligent response. Any other thoughts on that?
I want to share a thought on the image too, like the yin and the yang. That's like the opposite, right? Like the feminine and masculine, right? When we're studying ourselves and nature, like that, it's important to know that too, like the yin and the yang, and even like the way that the circle looks right here, the 360 degrees. That's like the earth glyph, right?
Right.
And even like on the fez too, right? These the 4 holes, right? That's for
elements.
the elements and the seasons, right? Winter solstice, summer solstice, things like that. So there's like a lot going on in this image right here. You got the yin and the yang, you got the zodiac signs, you have the earth glyph right here, and it's all calculated too. Like we were saying, in exactness to a math, it's 360 degrees, but there's 12 zodiac signs, so each zodiac sign is 30 degrees.
Right. Right. These are also known as the 4 gates right here, which corresponds to what you were saying. For on top of the fez is 4 holes. All right, so 4 seasons, 4 quadrants. It's also known as the 4 quadrants. Any other thoughts, comments on this space before we continue? All right, where were you at? You left
In reality, astrology means astrologic, and then I'm on the next page. The science, logy of the stars or heavens, astro. So the astrology is the science of stars and heavens. The basis of the whole Judeo-Christian Islamic tradition is the zodiac. Because the priesthood and all 3 religions hid this fact from the masses are ignorant of this relationship and will fight this truth tooth and nail, unfortunately to their own detriment. The priesthood in all 3 religions forbade the science of the zodiac, and still do, because it is such a threat to their power. One who understands the science of the zodiac will possess the master key to understanding and unlocking the mysteries of life, and will be well qualified to navigate the course of their own life without the need of priesthood or religious dogma. Let us look at this gift of the ancient Moors to the human family of the planet Earth. The zodiac wheel is a 360-degree circle divided into 12 equal parts of 30 degrees each. So 360 degrees, 12 equals 30 degrees. The question then may arise, why divide the circle into 12 equal parts and not some other number? Herein lies the beauty and the basis of the zodiac wheel. Since the ancient times, the circle has always been used to symbolize the all, the supreme oneness, the unindifferent ancient universe, also called the circle of life. The word zo or zoo in the word zodiac means animal or life forms. Thus, our Moorish ancestors realized that to understand the circle is to understand life. In order to analyze the circle of life, you must break it down and understand all its parts and their interrelationship.
Well, let's marinate. So for one, you see zoo comes from zodiac. That's why the animals in the zoo. The name of the zoo is named after the zodiac, right? So a lion is an animal that represents Leo, for example, right? Also, I wanted to mention right here, we're dealing with polarities, right? So we got masculine and feminine signs, and we got negative and positive signs. So we're dealing with polarity. I want to highlight that as well.
Okay. The first and most simple breakdown of the universe in life, the circle, is into two equal but opposite parts, male and female, positive and negative, yin and yang. The number 2 is a number of duality and polarity. In religion, this was developed into God and the devil, good and evil portrayed as conflicting instead of complementing one another. In the science of the zodiac, these two parts of the whole or circle is referred to as positive and negative polarity, or masculine and feminine gender.
So what's your religion? Bringing peace. So now, and also you see how in actuality opposites attract, right? Earth and water complement each other. That's opposite, but they promote a harmony. But they separated it by saying God, devil, as if it's two opposing sides like that, like as if it's conflict, right? Because we know higher self, lower self. Lower self is not like bad, like that. You just know how to tame it, right? Because you might have to exercise some things in that space. You might be in danger. You might have to use some lower self traits to save your life, right? So it's not like once, and you don't, if you're too watery, you're gonna come across being gullible and naive. If you're too earthy, you're gonna come across as being too insensitive. So you need a balance of those two things. That's just a classic example. But you got it now. Now.
Okay.
Hold on.
hold on.
Can I say something on before we start there?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Okay, on that yin and yang right there, if you remove the two dots, right? Don't look at the dots, really don't look at the dots. You'll see when the earth goes around the sun, it's going to cast a shadow like that or more light on the other side of the world. Do you
Wait.
get that or not?
No, can you say it one more time? Say it one more time.
Okay. The two lines, right? The two dots right there, just rather than have the dots there, make a straight line. Just a straight line. Just have a straight line to those right there. So now think of that as the earth. Now, when the earth dances around the sun, it's rotated or angled, right? So the sun will cast its light upon the earth that much. So that's why it's summer, and the bottom will be winter. So it gets less light. So when it keeps going around, it always changes, and that's what it looks like.
Mm-hmm. So
And also, let's just call the dark one masculine and the light one feminine. But even in the
Right, but
masculine, we still have a little bit of feminine, right? We still have a little bit, right? And then the feminine got a little bit of masculine still. It's not just all, right? So
Right.
we have to keep that, right? Keep that in mind because we need that. We need to be in tune, that balance or that empathy or whatever the case may be. So this is religion. We still talking religion. We're talking religion. But you got something? Somebody got something? That Benjamin Bay?
Oh, my bad. I was talking about the traffic here.
Oh, it's all good.
My bad.
All right, I guess you got it now.
Can you scroll down a little bit, please?
Islam Noble, I just want to say, the moon creates light and the sun creates darkness with shade whenever, a tree or whatever. So like the light can create darkness and the moon can create light. I just want to say that to add what y'all was saying for sure.
Wow.
Yeah, the way I take this is that we're seeing duality, but everything we've talked about, like the balance, right? That's been a common theme of balance, because the balance creates the peace, right? Balance, alignment, and everything. I feel like this is what, when we're talking about this portion, that was pretty much what I was getting, that we have the two parts, not one is more dominant than the other. We want to make sure, you tap into those little parts too, because it's necessary. We need those parts.
Yeah, because the masculine would be the electrical, like even the sperm and the egg, like the electrical charge would be the masculine. The the egg being magnetizing to receive it, that's a feminine trait, right? So magnetism would be feminine. Electrical would be masculine, for example, right? I believe so. I believe that so the earth itself would be feminine. The sun would be masculine, for example. The sun's electrical charge, the rays that it has on the sun, I mean on the earth, it impregnates the earth and it helps grow crops. Of course, Venus and the moon is in the equation, dealing with the fertility of the seeds wise in the earth. But to help it come out, it needs that electrical charge or that masculine energy. So that's another example. But I yield the floor. You got it, Donnell.
The next logical step would be to divide the circle into 3 equal parts. This is the 3 phases of life and existence: a beginning, a middle, and ending. In religion, this is called the Triune. How do you say it?
Triune. Or
Triune?
Trinity.
Trinity. Okay, this is called the Trinity God, or 3 gods in one. In Hindus, this is God the Creator, Brahma, Sustainer, Vishnu, and Destroyer, Shiva. In Christianity, this is called God the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. In the signs of the zodiac, these 3 phases are called cardinal, fixed, and mutable.
Let's marinate on this. So now let's talk about this. There's a couple of things we need to talk about. So we're still dealing with the circle. We're still dealing with Mother Zodiacus. We're still dealing with the completion of life. We chopped it up one time into 2 parts. We got the yin and the yang. We got duality. Now we chop it in the circle up into 3 parts, which gives a different angle, right? So now we're dealing with what we're dealing with. So our Hindu brothers or our brothers that, from the East, Pakistan, India, that know about, that may know about Brahma and Vishnu in their Vedas and in the Veda and their holy texts. As the Moor, we're going to show how that this means 3 different energies, right? That need to be balanced, right? Got the sustainer, the destroyer, and the creator. These are energies, right? What does fire do when it's not controlled? When it's not, it destroys, right? We just went over that earlier, right? Or it can build. See how we're talking about it in different cultures? We're talking about the same thing. It's just Brahma, Vishnu, and Shiva. In Christianity, it's the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. How they depict it. Now, the people in the Christian circles might not know the origin, but that's the job of the Moor. So how can we unite? We're still talking religion. How can we meet the people where they at? In the religions that they're comfortable with. We want to take them to a higher level where they at. Give them examples that they know. And tie it back to how we're talking about just balancing the elements. That's all we're talking about. That's what it comes back to. All right. But you got it. If anybody else got any statements or thoughts, elaborate.
Islam, in Egyptian or Kemetic culture, Isis, Horus, Osiris.
Right. So the more going to unite humanity. This is how we're doing it. Intellectually. Facts. And we're showing how culture bled into modern day religion. So let's get back to the culture. Well, when we go back to the original. But of course, that's not practical for everybody just to wake up on that type of tip just tomorrow. But when we talk about ambassador work, missionary work, they can come across us and we can tell them in such a way that they might not have heard it before. Right? We're not combative. We're not arguing with them. We're not telling them, Yeshua was black, you're not white. We're not talking like that. None of that stuff matters. None of that stuff matters. This is the approach to unite. And of course, cardinal, fixed, mutable. And of course, the true Trinity, right? Of course, everybody has a Trinity. Everybody has a sun sign, moon sign, and a rising. That's a Trinity. Of course, it's not the same Trinity that they talk about in Christian circles, but enlighten the people. All right, you got it now. Unless somebody else has something they want to talk about in this space before we carry on.
I was curious if everyone knows their Trinity.
I don't
Yes,
mind.
Mother, Father, Son.
No, their personal trinity.
personal Trinity.
Like I'm a Virgo. My sun sign Virgos, water sign Pisces, my rising sign Taurus. That's an example.
I think I only know two of mine, Libra and Capricorn. I don't know the third one.
Yeah,
That
I'm
would
not
be,
sure.
you want to find that out to know yourself,
Yeah.
know your impulses, know why you know,
I just know.
that's the beginning. That's the beginning. And this is all religion to get peace.
Mm-hmm. If you want to know your Trinity, like getting your birth chart done, or there's like little apps too. And what it'll ask is your birth date, the time you were born, and where you were born, because based off of that, just when that happens, like the snapshot, that moment, the energy, you know. So that's what it captures, and that's why you go off the birth chart to know what your trilogy is. But yeah, I was just curious. I'm a Pisces, Libra, and Cancer. A lot of water in the in the
Yes.
trilogy.
I gotta find out my third one. I don't know my third one.
hmm Yeah, there's an app called there's an app I like to go on called Nebula. Nebula. You can go on there. I use the free version, like a trial, like you kind of can go on there, put in your information, and then it'll tell you like your sun sign, your moon sign, your ascendant, what your element is, which is what we're talking about, right? The polarity, which side do you lean towards more? We're talking about the yin and the yang, feminine, masculine, and then modality, which is right here, the trilogy. We're talking about the cardinal, fixed, and mutable. Like, what's your modality? So I'm more mutable. I'm more like flexible. I'm not so fixed or anything like that. So that'd be a good little tool. Just download it on your phone if you want to get like a quick search for yourself.
Nice, peace.
All right.
Try that out.
So now we still dealing with the 360 degrees, but we chopping it up into 4 slices now. We chop it up in half. We chop it up into three. Now we chopping it up 4 times. So what does this mean? Let me check the chat for you. Start now. Just arrived to the family event. All right, peace and love, brother Hassan.
I think he
At the
filled.
event. All right.
Okay. The next and last step necessary to fully understand the circle would be to divide the circle into 4 equal parts. In the science of the zodiac, these 4 equal parts correspond to the 4 essential elements that compose the universe: earth, air, water, and fire. Thus, by geometrically dividing a circle by 2, then 3, then by 4, you have the minimum that is necessary to break down and understand every possible angle and measurement of the circle. When you divide by 2, you get polarity or gender. When you divide by 3, you get the 3 phases of life. And if you divide a circle by 4, you get the 4 essential elements of life and the universe.
All right.
Mathematically, there are only 12 possible combinations of polarity, phase, and element. This is the reason why the zodiac wheel is broken down into 12 equal parts. By doing such, you cover all the possible combinations forming the basis of life. Below is a chart showing the 12 combinations of life: polarity, phase, and element, and the logic of the 12 signs of the zodiac.
Now everybody basically on here can see what their polarity is, what their glyph is, what phase they're in, what element that you embody, and then make adjustments accordingly. Get to know what this means, So what does it mean to be Earth? Well, we're going over it, we're going, so just navigate accordingly.
In this chart, you have the sign, and next to it, you have the symbol for that sign. Then you have the polarity, phase, element. This comprises the zodiac wheel. This is the greatest gift of the ancient Moors. Chaldeans, how do you say that?
Chaldeans.
Chaldeans. Okay, so this is the greatest gift of the ancient Moors, Chaldeans, to humanity. Try to memorize every aspect of this chart. Since it is based on logic, astrologic, this should be easy.
Of course, we got more examples of got winter solstice up here. We got the atomic equinox. We got spring equinox. And then, of course, we got summer down here. Of course, we got the elements. All right, so this is like the fourth visual of a zodiac wheel and different expressions. Can't shake it. Can't shake it. All right, you got it. All right, so everybody still looking at this. Everybody want to kind of marinate on this a little bit longer, this visual. I think everybody face was like this. I'm like, hold on, let me.
So, I know, huh? So,
Go ahead,
okay,
look at that thing, man.
if we're going through, right? So let's say like, let's go with winter solstice. So that would be Capricorn,
Yes.
and then autumn equinox, that would
Libra.
be Libra.
Yep.
And then we have winter solstice, no, summer solstice, which is
Yeah.
Cancer.
Cancer. Yep.
And then spring equinox, which is Aries.
Yep. And so those would be the cardinal signs. All these signs usher in a new season. The cardinal point. Cardinal signs. Cardinal in the church. The Pope going like this. All related. The earth glyph. The cardinal points make the earth glyph, right? Which is right. That's the earth glyph. That's what the earth glyph is. We just showed you the earth glyph. You know. So the Coptic cross. You look up the Coptic cross. Oh yeah, matter of fact, let me bring that up. Because once you see the Coptic cross, you're gonna see like, oh, that's the earth glyph. Look, the first thing was an Ankh, but it was actually another. That's interesting how the Ankh came up because that was original cross, by the way. And as a matter of fact, that's balance, right? It's two ways that the Ankh was expressed: masculine, testicle, phallus, womb, male, female, or this is just the womb in its entirety, fallopian tubes, vaginal canal, etc. So that's pretty much the same expression, but I was looking for the it's actually a cross with a circle. All right, look. Coptic cross got the earth glyph right there, right? That's the earth glyph on top of the cross. This is like literally the earth glyph right here. Right? So
like
to our Christian, you know what I mean? So you're talking zodiac. Some of the ancient crosses still had the zodiac just literally just unopened. You know what I mean? But we just need to talk to the people, let them know the origin of Christianity, activating the Christ, which is would the term of the Christ come from a Mauryan dynasty culture of Krishna, which symbolizes activating the Christ. You know, so but everybody might not be ready to hear that so fast. You know, about Christians. So this would be no trick. Gauge it by who's in front of you. All right. Let's read about another paragraph or two. We can close it. Yeah.
I think I'm right there. Notice in the previous chart and the picture above, the polarity alternates from positive to negative in succession all the way to the end. Positive, negative, and so on. There are 6 positive or masculine signs and 6 negative or feminine signs. Positive or masculine polarity or gender is energy or matter spiraling outward or an outrushing vortex like a sun. Negative or feminine polarity or gender is energy or matter spiraling inward or an inward rushing vortex like a black hole. There are deeper aspects of which we will explore in later issues. Also notice that the phases go cardinal, fixed, mutable, then again. Cardinal, fixed, mutable, and so on. The cardinal signs signal the beginning of the seasons. Thus, Aries corresponds to spring, Cancer, summer, Libra, autumn or fall, and Capricorn, winter. Cardinal means beginning, in this case, the beginning of the seasons. The fixed signs corresponds to when the seasons are locked or fixed in.
I think that's a good spot to conclude this section. So once again, we've been talking about religion. The whole theme for today was getting sharp on what it is, how to explain it, how to talk about it, dealing with elements, right? Elementary school, university. We're talking about elements in the universe and the elements, elementary school, university. So that's all we're doing is getting back to the origin, and enlightening the people. One more thing I wanted to highlight. Some of our people will be like, this is political. It's radical political. I'm not into that radical political stuff. So, this is repetitive. We already know about the Nat. There's a group right here. Oh, matter of fact, there's a new brother on here. I'm gonna do the full demonstration, the whole nine. All right. So nationality. Oh, wait a minute. Let me make sure the brother's on here. It's really for the new brother. Is he still on here? If he's not on here, I'll just actually. Oh no, yeah, it's for you, brother Lamar Harris, and maybe DL and 9L too. It might be a good refresher for y'all too. Okay, so nationality. I'm reading from the Law Dictionary, Black's Law Dictionary, 4th edition. Nationality, that quality or character which arises from the fact of a person belonging to a nation or state. Nationality determines the political status. I'm highlighting political status, and I'm highlighting it signifies that you have allegiance. Those are the things I'm highlighting right now. Okay, so now we're still in the Law Dictionary. Now, when you go to status, that's dealing with your standing, state, or condition. Okay. It also is dealing with a state, because it signifies the condition of which one, stands with its property. Property can't own property, etc. So you got a nationality. Your nationality determines your political status. Remember, I opened it up by saying, is this political? So we're going somewhere with this. You don't know your nationality, you're not working with your people, your political status is minority. It's minority, the condition of a minor. All right. So even if you're not working with your people, even if you're not conscious of your nationality, you still in politics. Why? Because your political status is minority. That's a political status. So you can't shake the politics. All right. So who's a minor? An infant or a person who is under the age of legal competence. You're incompetent of what? Your nationality, your culture. You're not working together. So you're looked at as what? Lesser consideration, inferior. Right? That's a political status. So don't be scared talking about, oh, it is political. You're already political because you're classified as minority. I'm talking about if that's the case. If we're talking to people that are classified as minority. That's what I like to use, because I've actually used this before. That's why I'm using this demonstration, because it'll help them see like, oh, okay, I can't shake the politics. It's always political. You know what I mean? So nothing to be scared of. You just want to get into the light on the right side of the politics. You don't want to be the one getting injured and abused all the time. You want to create a heaven on earth with your people, communities, business structure, trust law, inheritance, estate. Somewhere where the children can grow up and be competent to run the business that we create and keep it going for hundreds and hundreds of years. Let me see, was there something else? Oh. And still in the law dictionary, the definition of political. Let's just look it up. Pertaining or relating to the policy or the administration of government. He's organizing. He's organizing and we'll have stipulations. We got culture, we got a divine creed. We got one vision. That's political. That's not so bad, right? Relating to the management of affairs. We're able to manage our affairs. That ain't so bad, right?
Right.
Know our rights based on our body politic that's created, right? We got organization amongst ourselves. What's wrong with that? What's wrong with managing their affairs? There's nothing wrong with it being competent, is it? Is being political so bad? Let's look at body politic. What's that? A social compact by which the whole people covenants or agrees, has allegiance, stick to the script with each other, with each citizen, right? Because a citizen is just a member. When you look up a drill society, it's gonna tell you that a member of an organization is the same thing as saying a citizen of a nation state if that organization is national in origin, if it's not, pseudo corporate. But everybody got that Moors in the organization, the members are citizens. So we have allegiance to each other, stick to the script, and grow, be ambassadors, etc. Right? So, oh look, body politic is synonymous to what? State or nation, public association, right? Public, on the record. We're showing that we have a nationality, putting it out there. Fez and turban when we're in public. That's public record. Social media could be public record. Capturing things, putting public. Don't let them trick you to think public means their newspaper. You got to record something in their paper. You can create a website. We have a website. Public. So I know I'm kind of drifting off a little bit, but it's all related. So when people asking me about, oh, this is political, that's how I like to respond. You can't run from it. Your political status, you can't shake it. You just want to change it and correct it. And not just by saying I'm a Moor because I got paperwork 5 or 7 locations. It's your actions and deeds. Are you trying to unite with the people? What are you doing as an individual to promote the unity? Right. So I'll conclude with that. I open the floor for any type of thoughts, statements, and then I'll close out in prayer. Oh, no, matter of fact, it's an update with 9L as far as the grant situation before we close out. Yeah.
Okay, so you're all done?
Yeah.
Okay. So this grant, just to kind of refresh everybody, I found out about it last week. This grant came out from HUD. It's called the Price Grant. And what it's for is pretty much to help create affordable housing or to fix up manufactured homes and things like that. This grant came out like in March. So we were kind of on a time squeeze trying to figure out how we can get into the grant as a tribal applicant with Khalifa Society. And what we're trying to do is build, pretty much make a community trust where we had a meeting, talk about what we'd want to do with the grant, things like that. I was kind of in the process of that. But what we ran into is to even get access to the application, we had some prerequisites and things we had to go through as Khalifa Society. So we had to get some codes and things like that. And based on getting the code, we couldn't get to that code because with Khalifa Society as Moors, they wanted like an address outside of the country. But here with Moors, they didn't give us an option to put North America, right? As a non-US citizen living in North America wasn't an option. So I had emailed them to pretty much like, hey, this is our situation. This is who we are. We can provide the documents, but this is where we're at. And we're having a hard time getting to the application to apply for the grant. So that's kind of where we're at right now with that situation. It is due in a few days, but I'd like to think that this really helped kind of start the engine on thinking about getting closer together and building that community and affordable housing and, thinking of different creative ways to get grants or monies and things like that to pretty much start working on this project. Because that's the way that we're trending. So I feel like this is kind of a kickstart. And we're going to be going to an event on the 17th to talk to local funders and how to write grants and things like that. So we can get to that stage of building community and being closer to each other and creating affordable housing, because it's very doable. But that's where we're at right now. So we're still working on pretty much the proposal at this moment. Even if we can't go in the grant direction at this moment from HUD, we have other directions we can go into, whether private, we can go again for the federal, because they may reply, but it just might be a little bit later after the deadline.
Yeah, so that's excellent. It's still excellent, the fact that we're gonna put a proposal together, and our future missionary work and different events, like she said, we can shop our proposals right there in real time. They're gonna see us in the flesh, see fezzes and turbans, and be curious about what we're about. They're gonna vibrate with us and see, okay, I like this. You got a proposal, y'all got, let me see y'all vision. And we got right here, look. Laminated, nice, nice and professional. They got the whole vision right there, right? So okay, I'm willing to donate. I'm willing to support to help you all, right? So it's not always federal grants. We got this wealthy people, other people that got culture, that got internal monies by other ways, right? We're just fund like what we're doing in Fundus. So we just want to be prepared. So it's imperative that we stay active and do things. It's always good to have events where most of the members are there. The more feathers and turbans, the more representation, the more solidarity. It looks it's just a good look. So that's that. And then we have another event this Friday, actually, at the skating rink, where it should be about like 200 people. No, it's the Saturday, right? No, this Saturday at 8.
I was looking on the 13th.
Yeah, so this Saturday at 8, Fountain Valley. There'll be 200 people there. Opportunity to do great missionary work. I'm gonna do some vending. Whoever can show up, Fez and Turban. I'm not gonna be skating, but like I said, everybody else might be want to skate and might end up in in some combo with some people and just do the missionary work. I give everybody a nice handful of business cards just in case we get separated and people got questions for the organization, and be prepared to answer. So that's kind of the climate for that. And then, like she said, the other one, the following week is going to be trying to get some funding. Hopefully, we can get a proposal done by the time for that other event, where we can shop it around. And that's actually in Irvine, that event. Any thoughts, questions, statements for anybody in the chat?
I do want to put out there for the skating event. To go, it is $30. But you get all you can eat vegan food. And that includes your skate rentals too. You want to come out, support and things like that, and skate around. It's going from 8:30 p.m. to 12 a.m. That's that. And then there's also for the networking event that we're gonna go to, there's also a ticket for that too. That one's, I believe, like 4:30 to like 6 or 7:30. That I don't know. I had to look into how much that ticket is, but yeah. So yeah, that's just a little bit more information on what's coming up.
Any other thoughts before we close out here in prayer? All right. So Allah, the Father of the universe, the Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation by night and by day. Through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali. Amen. Islam. Islam Moors. Hope everybody have a beautiful rest of their Sunday, man. And peace and love to everybody. Stay active out here, man.
Peace.
All right, peace and
Peace and
love.
love. Noble.
Peace and love.
Enjoy yourself.
Islamism.
Islam.